Heaven has been keeping score. Every single moment you thought no one was watching. Every night you held yourself together when everything inside you wanted to fall apart. Every time you chose to keep going, when quitting would have been easier, justified even. It's all been recorded, not as judgment, but as evidence. Evidence that you are ready for what's coming next. Because here's what you need to understand. The hardest chapters of your life were not random. They were not punishment. They were not proof that, you are cursed, forgotten, or somehow less deserving than everyone else, whose life seems to flow so effortlessly. They were preparation for a level of blessing that requires a specific kind of strength to hold, the kind of strength you build in the dark, in the waiting, in the silence, in the moments when you had to become your own encourager because no one else was there to tell you that you were going to make it. You've carried things that would have broken other people. And I don't say that to make you feel special or superior. I say it because it's true. And you need to hear that someone sees it. I know that feeling too. The weight of disappointment that showed up right when you thought things were finally turning around. The loneliness of walking a path that no one in your life seems to understand. The exhaustion that lives in your bones because you've been running on faith instead of evidence for so long that you forgot what it feels like to just know something is going to work out. You smiled through situations that were quietly destroying you, and that takes something deeper than courage. You showed up for other people when you barely had anything left for yourself. You maintained integrity in spaces that rewarded shortcuts. You stayed kind in a world that kept handing you reasons to close your heart. And maybe you thought no one noticed. Maybe you thought all of that suffering was just suffering. Pain for pain's sake. Character building that doesn't actually build toward anything. But that's not how this works. Heaven has been watching every single moment. Every choice you made when it cost you something. Every time you stayed faithful when your circumstances screamed that faith was foolish. Every morning you got up and tried again, despite having every reason to stay down. All of it matters. All of it counts. And all of it is about to make sense. One day soon, you will understand why it had to be this hard. Right now, you just need to stay ready. Because you are about to enter the best chapter of your life. Not because you earned it through performance. Not because you cracked some secret formula. Not because you manifested perfectly or became flawless enough to deserve good things, but because you survived what was designed to prepare you for greatness. And now, you are ready to receive it. The version of you from 2 years ago couldn't have handled what's coming. It would have slipped through your fingers the moment you touched it. That version of you still needed external validation to feel worthy. Still made decisions from wounds instead of wisdom. Still confused intensity with intimacy. Busyness with purpose. Being chosen with being valued. But this version of you, the one refined in the fire of disappointment and delay, you don't need anyone to tell you who you are anymore. You know, you've met yourself in the quiet. You've faced your shadows. You've rebuilt from nothing when everything else was stripped away. You've learned how to sit with discomfort without running from it. You've learned how to trust your discernment instead of chasing approval. You've developed wisdom that cannot be taught, only earned. You've cultivated resilience that didn't come from avoiding pain, but from walking straight through it and coming out whole on the other side. You've built a foundation that cannot be shaken, not because life stopped being hard, but because your stability is no longer based on circumstances. It's based on a knowing, a deep, quiet knowing that lives beneath feelings, beneath fear, beneath the opinions of people who have never walked your path. And now that foundation is about to hold more weight than you ever imagined. What's coming isn't just good, it's right. The right people who see you clearly and choose you consistently. The right opportunities that align with who you've become, not who you used to be. The right path that feels like coming home instead of chasing someone else's definition of success. Relationships that don't require you to perform. Success that doesn't cost you your peace. Growth that doesn't compromise your integrity. A life that feels aligned all the way through. Not perfect, but true. And here's what's going to surprise you the most. When it finally arrives, when the door opens, when the call comes, when the opportunity stands in front of you in a form you once prayed for, you will receive it with open hands instead of clenched fists. No tension, no bracing for impact, no quiet fear whispering, "This won't last." You won't sabotage it out of fear that it's too good to be true. You won't shrink yourself to make it feel safer. You won't question whether you somehow tricked the universe into blessing you. You won't wait for the other shoe to drop, because in this season, this long, stretching, refining season, you've learned something most people spend their entire lives never understanding. Your worth is not determined by what you receive. It is not determined by applause, by outcomes, by timing, by how quickly things come together. Your worth is determined by who you are, and who you are is someone who stayed faithful when faith felt foolish, someone who kept showing up when there were no guarantees, someone who kept their heart soft when life kept trying to harden it. You chose hope over bitterness, even when bitterness felt more logical, more justified, more deserved. You chose growth over revenge. You chose patience over panic. You chose integrity over shortcuts. That's who heaven has been watching. Not the version of you that wins publicly, not the version of you that looks strong on social media, but the quiet version, the unseen version, the one who cried alone and still decided to try again the next morning. That's who this preparation was for. I know you're tired, not just physically tired, but soul tired. The kind of tired that comes from carrying invisible weight for too long. The kind of tired that doesn't go away with sleep. I know you've been holding on for so long that your heart aches. I know there have been moments, maybe even today, when you wondered if you have anything left to give to this journey. Moments when you questioned whether your perseverance even mattered. Moments when you almost let go, not because you stopped believing, but because you were exhausted from believing alone. But hear this clearly. You are closer than you think, closer than your doubt suggests, closer than your circumstances reflect, closer than your fatigue allows you to feel. So much closer. The exhaustion you feel is not evidence that you're failing. It's evidence that you've been pushing through something heavy. It's the ache of muscles that have been carrying weight. It's the signal that a season is ending. You are on the edge of breakthrough. This is the final stretch before the shift, the last uphill climb before the view changes, the final contraction before the birth of something new. Your spirit can feel it, that quiet restlessness, that sense that something is about to change, that subtle knowing you can't explain. That's transition. And transitions require everything. They require your trust when you can't see clearly, your steadiness when the ground feels uncertain, your willingness to release what was comfortable for what is aligned. So give it. Not because you have to prove your strength, not because heaven is testing you, not because your blessing is conditional. Give it because you are stepping into the chapter where everything you gave finally makes sense. The chapter where the tears connect to the testimony, where the delay connects to the alignment, where the heartbreak connects to the redirection. One day soon, you will look back at this season and whisper, "Thank you. Thank you for not giving me what I wanted when I wanted it. Thank you for the doors that didn't open. Thank you for the relationships that fell apart. Thank you for the timing that frustrated me." Because what you're receiving now will be so much better than anything you knew to ask for. You'll realize every closed door was protection. Every delay was divine timing. Every disappointment was redirection towards something that actually fits who you've become. Not who you were trying to be, not who you thought you had to be, but who you truly are. This is your moment, the one you've been waiting for, working for, crying for, praying for, surviving for. And it's not arriving someday in a distant, imaginary future. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you're finally ready enough. It's unfolding now, right now, while you're reading these words. Maybe you're lying in bed replaying your thoughts. Maybe you're at work pretending everything is fine. Maybe you're in your car sitting in silence before walking into something that feels heavy. Maybe you're at home, wondering if anything is really changing at all. It doesn't matter where you are. The shift has already begun. Sometimes the biggest changes happen quietly, internally, before anything external moves. And this is one of those moments. So here's what I need you to do. Pause for a moment. Take a breath. Feel where you are right now. Not where you wish you were. Not where you used to be. But here. And then write this in the comments. I'm ready for the best chapter of my life. Not casually. Not half-heartedly. Not as something you type and scroll past. Write it with intention. Not as a wish. Not as a desperate hope. Not as something you're crossing your fingers for while secretly expecting disappointment. Write it as a declaration, as a statement of alignment between who you are and what you're stepping into, as a conscious decision to stop replaying the old story, as a line drawn boldly in the sand between who you were and who you are becoming. Let it mark the end of surviving and the beginning of living. Let it mark the shift from waiting to receiving, from chasing to aligning. Write it as a claiming of what is already unfolding for you, even if you can't fully see it yet, as a commitment to step into what heaven has been preparing while you've been persevering. Because when you write those words, something shifts internally. It may not be loud, it may not be dramatic, but it will be real. You stop waiting to be chosen. You choose yourself. You stop negotiating with doubt. You stop asking fear for permission. You stop shrinking your dreams to make them feel safer. You stop apologizing for wanting more peace, more love, more alignment, more purpose. You realize that desiring a better chapter doesn't make you ungrateful for the last one. It makes you ready. You create momentum, not just external momentum, but internal movement, a decision that your life is not happening to you, it's unfolding through you. You build belief, not just in yourself, but in the space around you, in the unseen, in the timing, in the process that has been shaping you this entire time. And here's the part you might not expect. Someone else is going to read your declaration, someone who almost gave up today, someone who feels like they're too far behind, someone who needed proof that breakthrough is still possible. And your courage, your simple, steady decision to believe, will spark something in them. That's how breakthrough spreads. One person decides to stand up internally, another person sees it and finds the strength to do the same. Faith is contagious. Alignment is contagious. Courage is contagious. So declare it, not quietly in your mind, out loud in the world. Let your words carry weight. Own it. Own the growth. Own the healing. Own the strength you built when no one was clapping for you. Receive it. Let your hands open. Let your shoulders drop. Let the tension of, what if it doesn't work, finally release. Let your heart expand beyond the limits of old disappointments, because the best chapter of your life is not hiding in some distant, unreachable future. It is not reserved for a more perfect version of you. It is not waiting for you to become flawless, fearless, or fully figured out. It is beginning now, in this breath, in this decision, in this moment of alignment. And you are not only ready for it, you have been becoming ready for it all along. Every lesson, every delay, every tear, every time you chose to rise instead of retreat, it was shaping you. So write it. I'm ready for the best chapter of my life. And this time, believe yourself.